Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. Now it's not every hiking, camping, or backpacking trip that I go on where I'm willing to risk putting a brand new pair of boots on my feet for the very first time and then just going out and hitting the trails. But today, it's not exactly that, but it's pretty darn close. Because here in my hands, I have a brand new pair of boots from the company Nortiv8. Now this particular model here, A0014. These are insulated boots, brand new, literally just got here like a half an hour ago, and I need to get these ready to go out and hit the trails. Now I'm gonna try to get these on my feet and maybe wear them for like maybe a couple of hours just to make sure that they actually fit. But other than that, I'm gonna bring these out to the trails and put them to some very substantial use. Now I don't expect to have any problems every single time I've had Nortiv8 boots. They've been fantastic. Excellent quality, great durability. The grip has been wonderful, water resistant, and generally speaking, very comfortable on my feet. Not generally leaving hot spots, and I wear Nortiv8 products at this point almost exclusively. I mean, very close. Probably 90% of the time, I have something that's a Nortiv8 branded product on my feet, including, well, right now, as I'm wearing their sandals in the studio. And so what we're gonna do, we'll go through these in detail. I'll hit the trails. I hope my feet survive, and then we'll come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. And so with that said, I have a whole bunch to do and a whole bunch to share with you. And if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to get into, do me a favor, stay tuned. Now, before we get too far, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at Nortiv8 who did provide these for review. So as we get into these here, Nortiv8 products are just fantastic. They do a great job. Generally, I like their designs. I think they're solid. They don't go too overboard with many of their design aesthetics, with a couple of exceptions, but that's certainly not going to be the case here. This particular pair of boots here, waterproof. They have thinsulate insulation. The grip on Nortiv8 boots, always fantastic. I like that they have pretty much an open design for the most part. I don't find I drag a lot of mud around, which is awesome. They do tend to shed the mud nicely. In this particular pair, you can see all black with the red accents, and in fact, even getting an extra pair of laces, which is cool. Black hardware all the way down. Now, this is kind of a combination of materials here. We end up with the waterproof leather upper, so durable leather. They do a nice job with the leather. Fully rubberized down on the bottom and on the back over the toe. That's awesome. I love that. So these should be a fairly rugged and definitely water resistant design. Only a couple of vulnerabilities to pay attention to. Again, these have a full waterproof lining, and I found that their boots are generally very water resistant. They do a nice job. My feet are typically quite dry, and they actually typically breathe pretty well, even though they have that water resistant membrane. Opening these up, you can see fairly thick in terms of that cushion, fairly thick in terms of the insulation. That's going to be important. I am getting into the winter months, so I'm going to need the warmth. Curious to see as we open these up what we're going to find here, because this is another place where you could end up with a vulnerability, and very high. This is a good thing. Very high, where the tongue is fully attached to the main part of the boot here. That creates that nice water resistant layer right there and all the way up to the top. So you end up with a good 5 or 6 inches before you even have a vulnerable spot where water could potentially even get into the boots. So that seems like it's going to do a wonderful job. Taking a look here, they're saying 200 grams of 3M thinsulate insulation. So the thinsulate insulation, generally name brand. So that's good. And as we take a look inside now, keep in mind, I am typically a size 12 boot. I bought these in a size 12. And looking inside, pretty standard in terms of the details. So your inner sole there, pretty straightforward. And just a nice soft lining. So inside, just soft. It's not exactly a fleece. Kind of more like a micro fleece lining. So that's real nice. But in terms of my comfort, well, how will these fit? So as I get these on my feet, again, as I mentioned, I am typically a size 12. They make these in 12 regular and wide. I am typically regular. I can say that these are going to be about perfect, actually, right away. Feeling really, really good. They get their sizing dialed in and perfect for my feet. Now, I will probably, well, I'm not going to even say probably, I will definitely be wearing more appropriate hiking socks, which are cushioned as well. Not like these white, standard socks here, but definitely something that's going to be a little more realistic to hiking. And I'm hoping that these will work. These boots feel a little stiff, which is good because I should get decent ankle support, and where I'm going, that will matter. So that's one. And that feels pretty good. I can already feel the insulation. So the insulation is definitely going to help keep my feet nice and warm. As I mentioned, I do expect fairly adverse conditions, but we shall see. Getting these laced up. Plenty of laces. That's not a problem. And then tucking in these little gussets here. That seems to go just well, and I think if I'm careful and actually establish that early on, it will help with the kind of general fit and not leaving any lumps or bumps or hot spots or anything like that. They're a little bulky just in terms of lacing them up, but that's because of all the insulation. So again, these are going to do a nice job protecting my feet and keeping me good and warm. And with that, yeah, these feel pretty good. So I'm going to probably just wear these around just a little bit, but in terms of the fit, feeling my toes are not going to be a problem. They're not going to cram up in any strange spots. I don't feel like my heel is lifting out of these at all, so that's good. And in terms of the style, I do have to say, I think these look pretty good. I mean, they're standard, but at the same time, that's what I want. Something that's simple, not overly flashy, and just do their jobs. And so far, that's what I find Nortiv8 does. So I guess with that, a little nerve-wracking. I know what I'm up against, but let's hit the trails. Why does it keep going? So alright guys, there you have it, a look at these insulated boots from Nortiv8. Awesome winter hiking boots. And at least I would say fall to late fall. That was pretty darn cold, down below the teens. And when I say teens, I mean Fahrenheit. So hard blowing wind, definitely adverse conditions, and these performed magnificently. I have to say every pair of Nortiv8 boots I've had to date has been great. I've had no problems. I've had comfortable feet. They've stayed dry. They breathe okay. Just awesome. And I do have to say, this could be one of the most comfortable pairs that I've had yet, and that's saying a lot because I've had some pretty comfortable boots from Nortiv8. These were fantastic. So the ability for me to literally put these on my feet pretty much for the first time. I mean, I did wear these for about 2 hours just to make sure they actually fit, but beyond that, it's not like I acclimated my feet to these boots by any means, and they absolutely performed. They stayed dry, with the caveat being, I'll tell you, I did have the gaiters, which absolutely helps because it covers up a large majority of the top of the boots and covers up some of the weaknesses. But in all other ways, these things performed. Comfortable, fit my feet great, no hot spots, none. 15 miles of hiking, adverse conditions, 57 to 5,800 feet of vertical elevation gain, which means what goes up must come down. So not only climbing, but also the descent. And it was about 12 hours straight wearing these, no hot spots. My feet felt great, and they don't always. So that's really a testament to the quality of these boots. Not really wet in any means, slightly moist from sweat, not from water. And I was in a lot of water, in different sort of standing water, and especially on the way down. So if I was going to have problems, I definitely would have seen it. Now, all in all, the grip, again, ridiculously good. For everything I went through, ice, slushy stuff, wet rocks, roots, hard terrain, slick rocks, no problem. I literally only slipped really once, one single time, and I can't even say it was the fault of the boots. So very, very good in the grip department. And in terms of the overall durability, I mean, these things are dirty, but there is no damage whatsoever. Nothing to speak about. Everything held up wonderfully. So these boots, I can say I absolutely recommend them. In fact, I can say I recommend all Nortiv8 boots. I am going to have a giveaway of Nortiv8 boots very, very, very soon in an upcoming giveaway, so keep an eye open for that. But to the people at Nortiv8, thank you so much for providing these for review. For the rest of you, thank you so much for following along. And if you like this content, do me a favor. Take a look at my Outer Limitless 2 channel, which is more on the tactical and firearm side of things. At this point, that channel is growing quickly. I have a ton of videos up there. So if you like what you see here on Outer Limitless, do me a favor and check me out on Outer Limitless 2. So all right, guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.